when something good happens to you, hold on to that. Sometimes God is real loud and God like really show you like, I'm real, you know what I mean? I'm real. God will love bomb you. And then there'll be moments where it's quiet though. Unfortunately, as a believer, you know what I mean? Sometimes I go through those moments of quiet, and if I feel like it's too long, I start to get a little weary. You know what I mean? I start to get a little like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Which is unfortunate because like God show you so many times that he real and he gonna come through for you. But time go by and then you start to question again. That's a normal part of the process, but understand that like, just don't lose the faith, because along your journey, again, that's why you got to stay consistent. You'll end up walking into something or experiencing something that'll charge you up again. You know what I mean? You'll end up like walking into something that will boost your morale and like raise your vibration again, you know? So the journey can be long. Like I said, I started when I was 19, bro. And I'm 32 now, and all I can say is that everything mattered, even when it didn't seem like it. Walmart mattered. I was stocking makeup, that mattered. I was working at Jamba Juice, that mattered. I worked at the security spot, that mattered. Everything mattered. It didn't seem like it. I wasn't sure. But hindsight 2020, everything was connected. Failure is important because sometimes failure break you out of a rhythm. Sometimes you need failure to drop you on your ass so you can snap out of it and realize that you've been asleep this whole time. Instinctively, we know that, but when you hear it though, something about it makes it like, man, that's really, really, really true. Because then I think about my previous relationship and I think about how comfortable I was in that relationship, or I think about me being in my city and, you know, certain things not going my way, which inspired me to try something differently. Even the people that's listening right now, there are some people, they've been good at school their whole life. They've been good at climbing the corporate ladder their whole life. They've never had a significant interruption, which is why they never changed. And some of them people are, you know, unfulfilled. You know, people are in like very high positions feeling unfulfilled. You know what I mean? It's like, I got this and I got that, but I never really took the risk to see what it was like to go here. You experience different things, and it's because they didn't have the failure for whatever reason. Sometimes you need to lose your girl. You need to lose your man. You know what I mean? You need to lose your connection, whatever that's tethering you to that thing, it needs to be cut. And sometimes you're not going to like it. It's going to suck. Nobody ever wants to put their comfortability second. If we feel security in that, but the real security is, not to be that dude, but I'm that dude, though the real security is in God. You know what I mean? So I got all my faith in like tangible objects and stuff like that. It's like, that's where you fucked up. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the rug from right underneath your feet. You're going to fall. You're going to hit your ass. And then the impact of you hitting your ass is going to wake you up. It's like, yes. Now start thinking. You know what I mean? Now start living. Because you was asleep behind the wheel. You was doing all the motions, but you wasn't conscious. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Please check that out. 3 hours on YouTube is free. The way you can make women feel safe again, from my perspective, this is opinion-based. Number 1, offer support without expecting anything in return. Number 2, understanding protection and control is not the same thing. 3, listen and validate women's stories. 4, challenge misogyny when you see it. As a man, if you don't know where else you can start, that's the easiest place to start, because if you look to your left, you know, in the church, they say, neighbor, look to your left and your right. You see somebody perpetuating misogyny in some type of way. Right? 5, respect women's boundaries and personal space. That shouldn't even have to be said, you know what I mean? But this is how you make women feel safe. 6, educate yourself on what's going on. And 7, support women's choices. Control is force. Protection is like, it's a flow. Control is like literally stopping something. Like something I said on the podcast, if a man come into my house, you know, without my permission, I control the situation by eliminating him in some type of way, whatever that looks like, right? That's control. I mean, but I'm protecting us. I'm protecting her. You know what I mean? So there's a flow and then there's a force. Well, women, it's like you kind of got to understand, like, you got to always use your mind. It can never be by force. It always got to be by choice. You know what I mean? So if you in a woman's life and you trying to give her provision on something and she giving you a hard time, then you as a man get to decide whether or not you want to stay in the situation. You can exercise that. You could be like, you know what? This don't work for me no more. This no longer aligns. This relationship don't suit me anymore. You can walk away. But the issue is a lot of dudes that get into a place where they try to control a woman. Even if it works, it doesn't work for you, because you end up chipping off like petals of this flower, and by the time it's done, it's like she becomes a shell of who she used to be. And that's coming from somebody who's contributed to that before. Maybe she can feel so honored to be in the presence of somebody that she respects so much that she willingly be like, that's what my baby wants, then I want the same thing, because that makes him happy.
Facts.
That's where you want to be, but you don't get there by control, though. You get there by showing and proving consistently. You know, and then it becomes like, whatever he say, go. Because he the Don. You know what I mean? He's the boss. He's the leader. Why? Not by force. Because I choose him. I choose him as a woman. I had chosen him because he's shown me in different scenarios he's the right man for the job and I can trust him. And this is what I tell dudes all the time. If you feel like you're doing that and you're still not seeing what you think that you should see in a proper amount of time, always understand you can walk away.
Yeah.
If you really feel that way, Every time you with the homies, you telling them about this. You telling your mom about this. You telling everybody about how they not meeting you in the middle. You should walk away if you really feel like that. But we would rather deal with something that's underneath our value than be alone, though.
That's a fact. And I think a lot of times on social media, we try to have the conversation where we talk about it from a woman's perspective when we talk about women needing to be in relationships and stuff. But we don't point the finger back at us. Like, that's why I always come back to that, because we be full of it. I see some clips on social media. I'm like, bro, this is cap. What are you talking about? Like, only women need to be in relationships, and like all these random things that are said on social media to make it seem like we have more leverage than women for some reason. Like, I don't believe that at all.
Submission means trust, though. You know what I mean? Because it make a man feel good. But again, you have to earn your way up to this place in a woman's life, though. So when I say submission, a woman submitting to me looks like a point of resistance to me. You know what I mean? Her going with the flow with me versus fighting me on everything. You know what I mean? Like, if I say, I want to do this, I think we should do this, you feel comfortable to go with that because of the character that I've demonstrated and the way I've demonstrated myself and the consistency within my character and who I am, you know what I mean? You feel comfortable to go with that, you know what I mean? Or if I say, I don't think we should do that, you'd be like, okay. As a woman, I'm not even that invested into it because my connection to you and what I want for you and what I want for us is so strong that the masculine man that you are, if that's what you're saying, like, okay, you know what I mean? But there's a time where, I think you should take another guess. Maybe you're not thinking about everything there is to think about when it comes to that. Then we get into a dialogue and we figure out, well, what makes sense for us, because I'm willing to submit to her too. Single life, it is lit, but the fine print is it can become very lonely too, because you realize like everybody doing what's best for them, no matter what that looks like. And oftentimes you are always going to come on the bottom line of that. So what do you have to do? You keep filling it in with new people. But then that's why I said every day is Groundhog Day. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how many new people are you going to go through for this? Bro, I know people know this. You go through this so much, bro. It's like you can't even give your best to everybody. Like, you gonna give your best to everybody. At some point, you telling the same jokes, you telling the same stories, you doing the same finesse, you doing the same trick. And it mean less and it mean less and it mean less to you. It means less and less and less to you. And then it's like you get to a point in your life where you realize like, man, the sex not worth it. And that's a real mind fuck. Because all the movies and all the music perpetuates one thing, that the sex is absolutely worth it. You can never have enough sex. You can never have enough. Slay them all, grab them all. And that's cool up until you realize every day is like Groundhog Day. Then you realize like, oh, what I need is a connection with a real person. That's only one way you can really get that. You know what I mean? By, once again, being intentional. The difference between a good man and a man who fucked up in the game really is not that different. Like, a good man wants sex just like the nigga who fucked up in the game. A good man might like getting drunk just like a nigga who fucked up in the game. A good man might like doing a whole lot of shit that the fucked up man like doing. But the difference is, though, you gotta know, you gotta pick your battles. You gotta know when to hold them and fold them. You gotta know when it's okay to have a little bit and when you're overindulging too much.
Fact.
And too many of us is overindulging in the fucking finesse of sex. Cause then sex is like gambling. It's like, bro, this is a numbers game. You can only do this so long until you lose. And losing looks like, I know disrespect when I say this, but losing looks like a baby with the wrong person. Let's say you're wrong person, catching something, or getting caught up in a relationship with somebody for a long time you was never supposed to be with. You're supposed to just be cool with this person. And now you've been with this person for longer than you were supposed to be. You still got caught up. You still got distracted. You was on your way to route Highway 135, and now you done took a detour 700 miles this way. 5 years down that road, now you finally wake up because you fell on your ass. Now you got to take 500 miles all the way back just to get to the starting line of where you was initially going the whole time. It is fun being single, but there's fine print to it, though. Get some good food into your body, because a lot of the time the food, your brain is in your gut. You know what I'm saying? So get some good food into your body, because that's going to help your perspective. You know what I'm saying? Perception is reality. Personality is your personal reality. You can't have a personal good reality if you putting fucked up shit inside your body. Cut them niggas off that don't need to be in your life. You know what I mean? Because a lot of time we be around niggas, we supposed to cut them off too, but we don't want to be alone. Cut the niggas off, you know what I'm saying? Get around some new people, get you some information in your mind, get you some sleep, nigga, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not sleeping, I hope you're working hard at something productive. Surround yourself around stuff that's going to help you get better. If that relationship not right for you, get out of it. You know what I mean? But definitely pray, drink a whole lot of water, get you some sleep, get you some information. I don't like that. I've read a lot of books. I've read enough books to realize that sometimes reading books can bore me a little bit. So I listened to Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil, on an audiobook on YouTube for free. You know what I mean? I was in the house minding my business. It was 3 hours. So that's what I would say if you're having a hard time. But that number one piece is pray. Keep your eyes and your mind focused on God, because crazy things will come from it. Crazy things.